at that good boy. Such a good truck dog. He is a good boy. I tell him that like 100 times a day though. He knows. So, I want to talk about the way that I kind of approach life. You can call it being an opportunist. I like to call it swimming with the current. Or you can call it, kind of taking what the universe gives you. Not trying to fight against the forces of nature. So, the way that I look at it is that things eventually sort themselves out. Problems eventually have a solution. And I will eventually find a way to do whatever it is I'm looking to do. You can call it faith, you can call it hope, you can call it whatever you want, but that's kind of the way that I approach life. Like I said, it's swimming with the current. And I compare it to, me being a fish in a river. And I more or less let myself get carried along by life, and if there is an opportunity, a better opportunity, when you get to a fork in the stream, I'll take the one that seems better. Like, for example, with this new truck driving job I had a great job that I loved, but along came an opportunity for better pay and more overtime, and also a job that I love, and I took it. And I definitely don't regret that. In fact, I mean, maybe there's some things that I regret, but there's very little in my life that I regret doing. And I think that's because I approach life this way, where I don't try to swim upstream against the current. I don't try to fight against what the universe, what the world is giving me. I take what I can, and I wait for opportunities. And if a better opportunity presents itself, I take it. And there are several ways that you have to be in order to live this life successfully. First of all, you cannot be afraid to try new things. Because opportunities present themselves often in a very short time window, and you've got to jump. And you also need good decision-making skills, because there are opportunities all the time, every day, all day, to do this or that, one thing or another thing, and you have to be very discerning as to which are going to be better or worse. So, quick decision-making, but good decision-making is essential if you're going to live your life this way. And very much not being afraid of new things and not being afraid of the unknown. Because, any new decision is going to come with unknowns. And like, for example, the job I have right now, if I had sat around thinking about it, they would have hired somebody else because they only needed one more person. So, you have to make decisions quickly, but wisely, and move in a new direction. And you also, though, you have to have patience. So, for example, when I worked for the city, that was definitely not the place for me. And if I had tried to leave and just take any old job, I wouldn't have ended up at Parks and Rec, which I loved, which was a great experience. And I wouldn't have ended up here, Who knows, like every little thing kind of changes the course of your life ahead of you. Which is also, once again, why I compare it to swimming down a river. Because if you take a course, change direction, go down a new stream, it's relatively impossible to swim all the way back up the river and change course and start again. Once you make a decision, once you go with the direction, you're got to stick with it until you reach another fork in the stream. And you have to be patient. So say you have a job you aren't a fan of, like when I worked for the city, or, you know, when I was a teacher, that ended up not being the job for me either. And I knew it, and the school knew it, and we parted ways. And, you know, if I had just, I always have taken new jobs quickly, but there's always been thought that went into them. And you've got to be patient. You can't try to, like, say you want a better paying job, you can't just, you know, jump at the first one that presents itself if it's not the right fit. But if it is the right fit, you have to move quickly. So it's kind of it's a balance between patience and quick decision making when the decision has to be made. So yeah, figure that one out. But it's a balance, you know, patience and quickness. Me being quick, there's something new. Ugh. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of how I approach life and how I approach, I used work a lot as an example in this situation, but it doesn't necessarily have to be just work. Like, you can apply this method of looking at life, you know, to your love life, to your family life, friendships, to anything, really. It's just a matter of taking what the universe gives you, being happy with it, being content with it. But if you know you want something else, you start looking for it. And you look, and you look, and you look, and you wait, and you're patient, and you compare. And then, when the opportunity comes and there's a fork in the stream, you've got to make a real quick decision. Do I stay on the course that I'm on, or do I change course? And then, you've got to do it. And once you're in the new stream, you've got to understand that there's no going back. There's no fighting against what life has given you. There's no trying to run, you know, back up the hill you just walked down. Unless you really want to waste a lot of time and effort. You just got to swim in the new current, stay in the new river, make the best of things, and then, once again, if you want something different, wait, watch, be patient. When the opportunity presents itself, there's a fork in the river, the fish that is you can choose a new path. So yeah, that's the way that I look at life. I'm a fish in a river.